Hi everyone, in my previous video I talked about the history of the Super Mario series and how Odyssey could build upon it. Since then I realised that I've got more hopes and desires for Odyssey that I didn't touch on in the previous video, enough to make a top 10 in fact. So here it is, my top 10 hopes for Super Mario Odyssey. The 3D Mario games have so far been comprised of distinct worlds connected by a central hub. Completing missions within worlds unlocks new parts of the hub, leading to more difficult levels. This was fine given the limited power of the N64 and GameCube, but it's 2017 and we live in a post-Skyrim era. Adventure games feature huge open worlds to explore as standard. Different environments merge seamlessly together, and it is often possible to travel from one side of the map to the other without any kind of connecting hub. Where players are limited, it is largely due to high-level monsters or skill challenges, rather than because they haven't collected enough items yet. I do love a good hub world, but in a game whose ISP is exploring, and whose title is named after a great open journey, a hub world will only detract from the overall experience. Super Mario Odyssey should have a single, complete and huge open world. The giant city, desert, forest and this place should merge together into a single diverse but coherent world that Mario can roam around in at will. Naturally you can fly around in the airship, but this should serve as a way to fast travel between worlds rather than to connect worlds together. If Odyssey is going to live up to its namesake, then it needs to move away from the smaller distinct worlds seen in earlier games, and embrace the large open worlds that we've become accustomed to. You're playing Super Mario Sunshine and you defeated Bowser, but the game's only half done. The real challenge comes from collecting all of the remaining 120 shrines hidden throughout the world. There are secret shrines hidden in each level, standalone challenge levels, and 18 shine sprites hidden in the Delfino Plaza hub itself. These are all great fun to obtain, for the most part anyway, but the extra 24 shines come from collecting blue coins in each level and trading them in at the boathouse near Rico Harbour. This is an onerous task. There are 30 blue coins in each level, and the only way of finding them is by traipsing back across each world, upturning every rock and peering into every nook and cranny. Some blue coins can only be found in certain episodes of a level, but there's no way of knowing which episodes you're missing coins from, so you have to vigilantly search through each episode on each level. With a walkthrough, collecting blue coins is tedious. Without one, it's downright frustrating. It may sound strange to complain about collecting blue coins in a game that's all about collecting shine sprites, but that's really the point. Hunting for shines is great fun because you're solving puzzles, completing varied challenges and exploring new areas. Blue coin hunting is like a shallow reflection of this. You're going back over areas that you've already spent a lot of time on, monotonously checking for missing blue coins. It takes what was great about the rest of the game and waters it down in order to stretch out an otherwise near perfect experience. I really hope that blue coins don't make a return in Odyssey, and I've got my fingers crossed that those purple triangles won't fill a similar function. Super Mario 64 was all about exploring. Mario had occasional help in getting around from the wing cap or from cannons, but most of the time Mario was limited to how far he could jump. When Super Mario Sunshine came out, Mario's new FLUDD took centre stage. The primary use of this device was to shoot a jet of water that could attack enemies and wash away sludge. But as the game progressed, Mario would find new extensions for the FLUDD that allowed him to explore the world in new ways, be it dashing quickly across large areas, boosting up to high places, or hovering across gaps. Then in Super Mario Galaxy, Mario got a bunch of power-ups that allowed him to reach new areas, like the ice flower that let him run across water, or the cloud flower that conjured floating platforms. In exploration games, it makes sense for power-ups to improve your mobility and allow you to reach new places. We've seen Mario showcase a couple of new moves already, bouncing on his hat to cross a gap and rolling down a hill, but I'd like to see a bunch more techniques like this to help us explore these new worlds. In Super Mario 64, there's an unreadable plaque on the statue in Boo's garden. One interpretation of this writing was L is real 2401. This led many people to suspect that Luigi was a hidden character in the game. Numerous rumours circulated about how to unlock Luigi. The one that went around in my friendship group involved standing in the mirror room, tapping the L button 64 times and then backflipping into the mirror. Of course, we spent ages trying to get this to work, with no effect. It sounds really silly now, but it goes to show how excited we were about the prospect of playing as Luigi. So imagine how exciting it was to play not only as Luigi, but Yoshi and Wario as well in the DS remake of Super Mario 64. Similarly, completing Super Mario Galaxy offered players the opportunity to play through the entire game as Luigi, with slightly different moves and jumping. We've only seen footage of Mario in Odyssey so far, yet with its colourful cast of characters, it's possible that others could be playable as well. I hope that we do get the chance to play through the game with other characters, be they Luigi, Peach, Toad or someone else entirely. I was so surprised to see Mario's hat sprout eyes at the end of the Odyssey reveal trailer. Mario's cap is quite possibly his most iconic feature. Sure, he'll occasionally change up his plumber's garb for a doctor's coat or construction uniform, but in mainline Super Mario games he's got to be wearing his trademark red cap. But then I remembered Mario's use of different caps in Super Mario 64. Donning the metal cap would make Mario impervious to attacks and very heavy. The vanished cap made Mario intangible, while the wing cap allowed him to fly around the stage. These were short-term, temporary power-ups, but I loved the way they shook up the gameplay. I'd go so far as to say that flying around with the wing cap was one of my favourite things to do in Super Mario 64. A not so short-term change came when Mario lost his regular cap, either having it blown off by a strong wind or stolen by a monkey. Without his cap, Mario would take more damage from enemies until he recovered it, but unlike almost everything else in Super Mario 64, dying or leaving the level would not give Mario his hat back. The player would either need to recover it from the level in which they lost it, or play through the rest of the game taking more damage in a kind of self-inflicted hard mode. I love that losing your cap can alter a fundamental part of the game, adding an extra degree of difficulty and allowing players the option of more challenge. With the crazy cap shop located in the desert level of Super Mario Odyssey, it could be that Mario has a bunch of different caps to acquire which will grant him new abilities and alter the mechanics of the game. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. This one is perhaps a little left field. When Luigi's Mansion came out in 2001, it introduced a new character, Professor Egad, a zany inventor who gives Luigi his ghost hunting regalia. I loved Egad's design. It felt like he fit perfectly in the Mario world while representing an archetype that hadn't been seen before. While not present in Super Mario Sunshine, the Flood is Gad's creation, and his emblem can be seen on the boxes. After this, Gad kind of fades away from the Mario world. He's not in any of the main Super Mario games, nor is he playable in any of the spin-off titles. I found this really strange. Mario Kart and Party have seen an ever-growing selection of characters, including some that haven't been in a game for decades, and others that have never been in a mainline game at all. Egad did make appearances in Mario and Luigi games, and in Luigi's Mansion 2, and he's still as lovable as ever, but I'd like to see him break into a mainline Mario game. He'd be right at home with Odyssey's wacky robots, wide-eyed rabbits, and flying airships. Hammer Bros and Spinnies are making a return, and Donkey Kong may well be returning too, so why not dear old Professor Egad? When you first explore the grounds outside Princess Peach's castle, you come upon an unassuming grate near the castle entrance. After playing a few levels, you'll realise this grate houses a cannon, but there's no obvious way to open the grate, and no pink bob-ombs in sight. In fact, the cannon serves as the final reward for finding all 120 power stars in the game. Doing so will unlock the cannon and allow you to blast to the top of Princess Peach's castle. There you can speak to Yoshi, who will give you 100 lives and a wing cap, which you can use to fly around the area. This is such a cool little bonus for rounding off a game that was already packed with secrets. Since then, completion rewards have been a little hit and miss, ranging from small cosmetic changes to secret levels and entirely new game modes. Finding all the Shine sprites in Sunshine gives you a Hawaiian shirt to wear and an extra picture in the credits, while Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 let you play through the entire game as Luigi and unlock new levels when you complete them for a second time. Super Mario Odyssey could go in either of these directions, or it could forego any kind of acknowledgement for completing the game 100%. I'm hoping that we'll get something really cool as a final reward for finding everything. It isn't saying much to expect Odyssey to have secrets. All of Mario's games have secret levels, hidden routes, and even the odd Easter egg or two. This is perhaps most true of Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, whose entire premise revolves around exploring areas to find hidden items. In that Odyssey as a follow-on from these games, there is little doubt that it will be packed full of secrets. But secrets can be found, catalogued, and solved. In contrast to secrets and mysteries, gaming oddities that evade solution for long after their games are released. There were few games on the N64 that didn't have some kind of mystery. The island across the dam in GoldenEye, the secret cave in Bomberman 64, the Triforce slot on the inventory screen in Ocarina of Time, just to name a few. These little touches were mostly remnants of unfinished sections that never made it into the final game. Yet these quirks carried a certain air of wonder. Back then it seemed possible that these mysteries could house actual secret content. There was little information available on the internet and nobody had cracked into these games, so we couldn't be sure one way or another. Of course, Banjo-Kazooie is the ultimate example of this, with many oddities littered throughout the world. Better still, codes eventually emerged making some of these areas accessible, lending weight to the possibility that mysterious areas and items could be found in other games. Mario 64's mysteries weren't quite as pronounced as in the rare games, but they were there. As mentioned before, Boo's Garden's got a stone statue with an unreadable plaque beneath it. The castle has several portraits depicting worlds that can never be accessed, and unobtainable coins were located in several worlds. This carried on in later Mario games. In Super Mario Sunshine there is an unusable book hidden in Noki Bay. In the Shiverburn galaxy of Super Mario Galaxy, if you look into the sky, you'll see 3 mysterious figures staring down at Mario. If Odyssey will truly capture the spirit of the early 3D Marios, it will of course need secrets, but more than that, it will need mysteries that will go unsolved for a long time. Mysteries that will become legends among Odyssey's fanbase, in the same way that the Ice Key did some 20 years ago. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was huge. Not only was it the first time that a classic side-scrolling Mario game had been on a home console since the SNES, but more importantly, it was the first time ever that 4-person cooperative play was possible in a Super Mario game. We'd all dreamt of being able to play co-op since the Mario series began, but until New Super Mario Bros. Wii, taking turns was the only kind of 2-player mode available. We've seen some attempts at co-op multiplayer from the Super Mario Galaxy games, but these haven't really cut the mustard. The Co-Star mode in Galaxy, which saw player 2 using a pointer to collect star bits, got boring really quickly. Galaxy 2 improved on this a great deal, giving the second player more ways to interact with the level, but it was still a far cry from the kind of co-op action that we'd seen in the new Super Mario Bros. Games. A 2-player mod of Super Mario 64 has demonstrated the possibility of multiplayer co-op and the fun that this could bring. This mod clearly has its flaws, but it was a fan project built on a game that was never designed for multiplayer in mind. We've seen nothing to suggest multiplayer in Super Mario Odyssey just yet, but maybe, just maybe, Nintendo are building the game with multiplayer in mind. After all, one of the Switch's selling points is that it comes with 2 controllers straight out of the box, and its marketing material is full of groups of people playing together. I'd love to see co-op in Super Mario Odyssey, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one, but it would also be great to see competitive multiplayer as well. This was great fun in the new Super Mario Bros., but it seems to have fallen off the radar a little since then. Mario's 3D games have always been episodic. You can do whatever you want in a given level, but if you leave and then return, everything will return to its original state. The narratives of some episodes followed on from each other in a systematic way, but these instances were pretty few and far between, and never affected events outside of their own level. Beyond using stars to unlock new levels, Mario has a limited ability to bring lasting change to the world around him. This is something I'd like to see change in Super Mario Odyssey. The Odyssey was a hero's journey in which the protagonist had a huge impact on the people and places that he visited. I'd like to see my actions have a lasting effect on New Donk City and its inhabitants. This isn't something that's happened in a Mario game so far, but it's become par for the course in modern adventure games. The decisions that you make in games like Dragon Age or Mass Effect have an irrevocable and enduring effect on the game world and the future of the story. I'm not saying that Super Mario Odyssey should try to match these games in tone or subject matter, but it would be nice to see a subtle shift away from Mario's episodic nature. So those are my top 10 hopes for Super Mario Odyssey. Are there any that you totally disagree with? Do you have some hopes of your own that I have not mentioned? Let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see my last video on the history of the Super Mario series, there's a link in the description below. Thanks very much for watching.